Okay, let's jump right in. The landscape for students looking for work has completely shifted. Remote work is no longer just a nice bonus for a few lucky applicants. It is actually the default now. Every single year, hundreds of thousands of students are searching for flexible work to fit between their classes and campus life. Today, a remote job is way more than just quick money. It is a direct bridge to real, tangible career experience. In this explainer, we are going to explore exactly how you can find and secure your first remote role, and we are focusing strictly on actionable steps for absolute beginners with zero prior experience.
Here is our roadmap for today. We will cover the remote work reality, what employers actually want, beginner-friendly remote roles, standing out without experience, where to find jobs, and finally, the long-term vision.
Let's start with Section 1, the remote work reality and why it fits better.
Think about a traditional campus job for a second. It follows rigid campus hours. You absolutely have to be there physically, totally regardless of your study load. But a remote job follows your hours. You can front-load your work right before exam week or take a breather to rest after finals. And beyond just scheduling, remote work actively builds skills that actually matter after graduation. We are talking about writing in a professional tone, documenting your own progress, and meeting deadlines entirely independently. Plus, it levels the playing field completely. Whether you live in a smaller town or lack transportation, remote work gives you the exact same opportunities as someone living right in the middle of a major tech hub.
Moving right along to Section 2, what employers actually want, which is effort over mastery.
You do not need experience, you need examples of effort. This concept is absolutely huge. This quote comes straight from real conversations with hiring managers. When companies hire students for remote roles, they almost never expect deep technical mastery. Instead, they expect curiosity, dependability, and a genuine willingness to try. It is honestly a completely different standard than what most applicants assume.
Managers really just care about three simple things. First off, can you communicate clearly without being chased down? Literally just replying to emails, updating your progress, and asking for clarity early makes you incredibly rare and highly valuable. Second, can you read a process document and follow instructions the first time around? Remote teams just do not have the bandwidth to explain the exact same task 5 times. And third, do you show any interest in learning basic tools like Notion, Slack, or Google Workspace? You do not need to be an expert at all. You just need to be totally comfortable picking them up. Master these 3 steps, and you will instantly stand out.
All right, Section 3, beginner-friendly remote roles and the actual jobs students get.
You know, those intimidating job titles actually break down into highly manageable, completely predictable tasks. Take a research assistant. That is simply summarizing data and doing some fact-checking. A virtual assistant usually tackles inbox cleaning and simple scheduling. Junior data labeling involves categorizing text or reviewing transcripts for tech companies. Look, these are not exactly glamorous positions, but they are very real, they pay real money, and they are incredibly friendly to beginners who are just starting to build up their resumes.
Section 4, standing out without experience. Yes, even with zero experience.
So how do you provide those exact examples of effort hiring managers want to see? Well, you can build a tiny portfolio project entirely on your own. Redesign a simple graphic, or maybe analyze a public data set. And instead of blasting out generic cover letters, take a minute to write a short, personalized note showing you actually know what their company makes. Keep your resume neat, calm, and polished with just 3 or 4 specific achievements. By the way, tools like CloudHire can really help you build strong resumes fast. Remember, effort always beats experience at this level.
Moving to Section 5, where to find jobs and why you need to look beyond the usual boards.
You really have to be strategic with your search here. Try filtering LinkedIn specifically for entry-level or internship roles. Look for niche job boards dedicated entirely to early career talent. But honestly, the absolutely most underrated tool here is your own network. Do not underestimate the power of your school network. A single referral from a professor, a tutor, or even a teaching assistant can lead to a role so much faster than 20 random, cold applications. People naturally trust personal recommendations over digital resumes every single time.
And finally, Section 6, the long-term vision, looking beyond just the paycheck.
$1,000. I want you to really think about that number. It is entirely realistic to earn this much a month working just 10 to 15 hours a week through specialized tech side gigs. And that is an amount of time that fits perfectly into a normal student schedule without causing burnout.
Where does that income actually come from? Well, it comes from platforms like user testing, which literally pays you to test apps, or places like Scale AI and Remote Tasks for simple data annotation and training data gigs. There are even freelance no-code tools out there like Bubble. Platforms exactly like these require no prior experience beyond just basic tech comfort. They offer a highly flexible way to start building your professional track record, and the best part is many of them pay weekly. It really is a fantastic entry point into the remote working world.
Treat your student years as a low-risk experiment lab. Remote work gives you incredible room to experiment with different fields before committing to a lifelong career. You could try marketing one semester, operations the next, and maybe research after that. Your very first remote job does not have to be perfect at all. It is simply a chance to explore your strengths, build your confidence, and get prepared for full-time roles after graduation.
So which low-risk experiment will you try this semester? Are you going to test apps, label data, or perhaps apply to be a virtual assistant? The barrier to entry has quite literally never been lower, but the cost of waiting until graduation has never been higher. So what is your first move?